All right, so now that February is behind us, we are now going into March where movies are back. You know, these past 2 months, the film industry has just kind of been dead in the water. It's really been getting carried by like movies like Wonka, Anyone But You, Migration, all these 2023 movies with a couple of smaller hits like The Beekeeper, Mean Girls, and Bob Marley. But you have other movies like Madam Web and Argylle that were expected to do good that have done terribly and have been no help whatsoever. So hopefully those things will change this month. And that starts out with my top 5 here. We're going to talk about some of those movies, but at number 5 is actually a streaming release, and that is, I would say that Netflix has 2 really big movies coming out this month, one of them being Damsel and the other one being Spaceman. I would have put Spaceman here, but then I saw the reactions out of the Berlin Film Festival and I was like, oh, that's not too great. And I've just really liked the advertising for Damsel. It just looks so fun, and I love fantasy. I love fantasy. And if I can get a good fantasy movie where Millie Bobby Brown is fighting a dragon, I'll take it. You know, and I can't wait for that. It looks to just be really just a ride, you know, and that's what I want. I want a movie that can just take me on a wild ride. It doesn't have to be that great, but can it be fun? I expect it to be. I hope it will be, and we will find out. Look at the trailers for this movie. These trailers have been pretty fun. Again, I'm talking about fun. I am judging a lot of these movies based on how much fun I think I'm going to have watching them, because honestly, at this point, after we've had 2 terrible months of film, I just want to have fun, everyone. So I'm sorry if I'm putting like fun over other aspects of cinema for this month. But anyways, yeah, it looks really funny. You know, Tilda Swinton, I love Tilda Swinton. And here you have her as the supporting character, and honestly, just all the bits of her in the trailer look great. She looks to just be a really fun character, and what this movie seems to just be kind of meaning and trying to talk about like immigration. The fact that it's coming out now when that is on the ballot, you know, we are voting on that in November. And, you know, now here it is in our faces on the big screen thanks to A24, and that is another reason. It's an A24 movie. Like, I'm sorry, but I have just gotten to the point where I trust A24 more than any other studio to distribute solid films. And thanks to the buzz about this movie coming out of South by Southwest last year, I have a lot of faith that it will be really solid. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch this movie, and I really hope all of you go to check it out as well. In preparation for it, I did watch all of the previous Kung Fu Panda movies, and I have come to the conclusion that we have not got a great Kung Fu Panda movie in a decade, because yeah, Kung Fu Panda 3, I wouldn't call that a great Kung Fu Panda movie, but 1 and 2, those were great. And if we can get a movie that is on that level, I will be so happy. Chances are this movie will be about as good as 3 is, and I'll take that. Like, that's fine. But by the chance that we could get a Kung Fu Panda movie that lives up to the first 2 Kung Fu Panda movies, like, that is a chance that I am just so excited for. And also just Kung Fu Panda. I grew up with this franchise. I watched the first movie, and it was the first time I watched that movie in almost a decade, probably. But I could just remember every scene, just remember the animation, remember the lines, and just going back to that was incredible. And now to get to relive that on the big screen, because I remember seeing Kung Fu Panda in theaters, like the first movie. So getting to go back to that, it's just going to be a wonderful time. And I cannot wait. And I am very passionate about it. I watched all 3 in preparation. So, you know, I'm really here for this movie. And let me tell you, I'm a little biased here. As a queer person, I want to see queer cinema, especially good queer cinema. And I got that in Drive Away Dolls in February, and now we will be getting this in March with Love Lies Bleeding. I cannot wait. This movie just looks epic in its scale. The trailers have been incredible. You know, like the reactions out of Sundance were spectacular. So yeah, I am like off the charts excited for this movie. And I mean, Kristen Stewart has been going off with the advertising here, and I love it. I love seeing the passion behind this movie, and I can't wait to check it out. I am just on the edge of my seat. It looks fun, it looks terrifying, it looks like it's gonna have a lot of emotions coming out of it, and I'm so excited. And again, A24, I trust A24. You know, they do miss, but those misses are few and far between. All right, now let's get into a couple of honorable mentions here with... I know there's a lot of controversy behind Roadhouse because, you know, they wanted a theatrical release, but then Amazon was like, no, you're not getting a theatrical release. And I've heard different sides to the story, so I don't want to dive into it. But regardless, Roadhouse looks like a really solid action movie. The action looks really entertaining and just really interesting, and a lot of wide shot type of action, and that's my favorite kind of action. I don't like that Jason's Bourne style with the quick cuts and whatnot. You know, that's not my kind of action. I like the wide shots, and that's exactly what Roadhouse is giving us, and I can't wait. And on the other hand, Godzilla X Kong, you know, it's a Godzilla movie. Is it going to be nearly as good as Godzilla -1? Of course not, and I do not expect it to. But it is a bunch of giant monsters punching each other. And if we just get more monster than we typically get, than we got in Godzilla vs. Kong, I'll take it. Because we just did not get enough monster in that movie. So maybe this film can make up for that. Finally, my number one. This is everyone's number one, and a lot of people have already gotten to see this movie. When this video comes out, I will be watching this movie today. Yeah, this movie has been on my radar the moment I walked out of Dune Part 1. The moment I walked out, I Googled immediately. I was like, is there a sequel? Please tell me there is a sequel. And it said probably. And then a couple of days later, the sequel got announced, and I was shocked at how quickly the sequel was getting released. But from what I've heard, you know, there aren't issues with the VFX, and there just aren't issues with how this movie looks. And it actually seems to be better than Part 1, and it just seems to be more epic and more action-packed. So the fact that they were able to turn around after Part 1 and make this film in like 2 years, that's incredible to me. You know, and the fact that it's gonna be as epic as people are saying, or at least hopefully be as like just incredible, I can't wait. I have such high expectations. Denis might be my favorite director, question mark, exclamation point. Yeah, that's all I got. Let me know your top 5 in the comments down below. Are there some movies that you think I'm missing? Please let me know if you do. I mean, really the main one I can think of is Ghostbusters. I'm just not that big of a Ghostbusters guy personally, but if you are, I totally get why that would be like up there in your top 5. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.